Hey folks, so this is Sam from Edwards, Virginia Smokehouse, and welcome to Cured Meat Q&A, where my dad and cure master, Sam Edwards, along with our wholesale manager, Keith Roberts, answer your questions about all things country ham and the world of cured meats. Are country hams and Virginia hams the same thing?
Not really. There are plenty of people that make a Virginia ham that's not a country ham. There are companies that make a Virginia ham called a Virginia baked ham, for instance, is pumped full of water, and they're made in New Jersey, and they're allowed to call them a Virginia baked ham. But traditionally, because Virginia was known, it was one of the first exports out of this country in the 1600s. Virginia became known for ham, so people tried to capitalize on the fame of the Virginia ham in the 1800s, 1900s, and so on. This is one of the first products made in this country. And, fortunately for us, that's what we've done. We were known as a Virginia ham, and we make a country ham known as a Virginia-made country ham, dry cured, which is from the same recipes used by the American settlers from the 1600s. So yes, country ham and a Virginia ham, in our minds, is the same thing. But don't be fooled. Look at the label. If the label's the first ingredient is water, then that's not a genuine Virginia ham.
I think the key there is, Sammy, Sam, I know Sam and I have had many conversations, and there have been conversations with the National Country Ham Association about the designation of a country ham. In our world, being from Virginia, yes, it's a Virginia country ham. The ham that Sam mentioned before, the water added or water first wet cure, that's what you're going to see in deli departments, in the deli case. Sometimes it is actually made with solid muscle meat of the ham. Sometimes they're using bits and pieces, and they tumble it with their seasonings and water and some binders and throw in a little liquid smoke, and then boil all that in a bag. And they put Virginia ham on there. And I think a lot of people hear Virginia ham and they think of hickory smoke. Not the same thing by any stretch of the imagination. Where when we've done a number of our events out there, one of my first words is, that's not a ham. This is a ham, and actually, have a whole ham in the stand that's gone through the cure and smoke process. And my mind, and I think in our minds, that is a Virginia country ham, not what you're going to see in the deli case. So, as Sam said, don't be fooled by what's out there.
Why should country hams be sliced paper thin?
Well, a genuine country ham should be sliced paper thin because the flavor profile of it is pretty intense. And if you slice it paper thin, you're eating it like it was intended to be eaten, at least a well-aged country ham. When I say well-aged, one that's 4 months or older. And so if you get one you slice it too thick that's aged that long, it's overpowering in flavors. It's like if you took a piece of Reggiano cheese and sliced it a quarter of an inch or thicker and took a bite out of it, the flavor profile is overwhelming. Same thing with a genuine Virginia ham. It's not as palatable. So slice it paper thin, and you'll like it a lot more. And it's funny how when you're serving it to people, when they come up to you at a food show or they've eaten it for the first time, and they may have eaten it somewhere else, served in somebody's home or in a restaurant, and they didn't quite cut it the way it's supposed to be. They said, "Oh, I didn't like it. It was too salty," or whatever. And then we serve it to them the way it's supposed to be, thin, maybe wrapped around a melon or in some other dish. They go, "Wow, that's totally different. I really like it." It's because it's the way it's prepared, the way we slice it thin like that. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. And that's absolutely true. I've actually had some chefs that have called complaining about the ham. They've brought in a country ham for their, say, Easter buffet or any holiday buffet style dinner, and they've called and said people were complaining it's too salty. And my first question has always been, who did you have slicing the ham on the buffet line? You put a low-level hourly cook on the buffet line, they know that as soon as I'm done carving this ham, I'm done. So they'll carve it back that 1/4 inch thick slice or thicker that some people ask for. And between the intensity of the flavor profile, that bite of salt, and also the texture of the ham itself it'll knock you off your feet. I mean, there's a reason that even with like say our Suriano, we always suggest slicing that paper thin just as well, just like you would a prosciutto or a Serrano. It comes down to flavor profile, texture, bite. There's a term out there called mouthfeel, but we're getting the ring, so you don't have to use that part.
So also now, if you take a younger country ham and if you buy a younger country ham or buy it pre-sliced and it's in a 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of an inch thick and it's young, that's made for frying. And you would parboil it a little bit and maybe sprinkle a little brown sugar on it as you're frying it. That cuts the saltiness a little bit. But sometimes these hams are only aged maybe 50, 60, or 70 days. You can tolerate that thickness because there's the aging. There's not that much aging of the ham, so it's more of a porky flavor and doesn't taste as intense. It's designed to be fried versus sliced paper thin.
What does brine-cured mean?
Brine-cured, there's a couple of meanings. One is, number one, is always involving water. The old the old terminology for brine-cured is often, especially in the north, they would take a combination of water and salt, maybe water, salt, and sugar, and mix it with water and set the ham or the shoulder or the belly in that brine mixture. And that's how they got the water, the salt and sugar into the meat to cure it. Today they have machines with needles. It's like 25 needles, and this thing goes up and down, pumping the brine into the meat much faster than having it soak in this brine solution. So you can pump it on Monday, hang it up in a smokehouse on Tuesday, smoke it for 5 hours, chill it on Wednesday, pack it off, deliver it on Thursday. It's in the store on Friday, and you're eating it Friday night for dinner. It's a very fast way of getting a piece of pork from the pig to the table. Much, much milder in flavor, and quite often too, the smoke flavoring is injected in that brine, in that pump process too. We call it city ham.
And that really goes back to the earlier conversation about a Virginia ham. That again, you will generally find those in the deli case, noted for more smoke than anything else. But again, it's all injected. When you think about brine on the whole, most people think about it's a salt and spice and sometimes sugar solution used as a preservative. Think pickle juice. That's a brine. There are 1,000 things out there that are preserved in a brine. As Sam said, brining meat of any sort was just a faster way to make it happen. So they could turn the product around, preserve it per se, and get it in the smokehouse. But you're really not getting full advantage of that extended shelf life because of the water content is still so high. But yeah, whenever you think brine and ham, think water. And water is the biggest enemy there is to any meat product out there.
Got a cured meat question? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.